Broadcasting live from the Business RadioX studios in Woodstock, Georgia, it's time for Cherokee Business Radio. Now, here's your host.
Welcome to another exciting and informative edition of Cherokee Business Radio. Stone Payton here with you this morning, and today's episode is brought to you in part by Woodstock Neighbors Magazine, bringing neighbors and business together. For more information, go to Facebook and Instagram at woodstockneighbors.bvm. You guys are in for a real treat this morning. Please join me in welcoming to the broadcast with Bodyfit with Aimee and Softwave Regeneration, Miss Aimee Parscale. How are you?
Good morning. How are you?
I am marvelous. I have so been looking forward to this conversation. I got a chance to meet Aimee personally through a mutual friend. I don't know if he told you or not, but he wang-dangled an invitation for me, or at least told me where and when, to be at a pool party a while back. We had such a marvelous time at your home, and
thank you.
Everyone in town who knows of you and knows you, and that's no small number, just thinks the world of you. And I can begin to realize why. I am really looking forward to this. I got 1,000 questions. I know we're not going to get to them all, but maybe a good place to start would be if you could articulate for me and our listeners mission, purpose. What are you and your team really out there trying to do for folks?
Oh my gosh. So I am so hugely passionate about people's health and well-being. And my mission in life has been to create the life that you're designed to live. So the best life that you can possibly live is going to come from your health and your wellness and your well-being and what feeds your soul. So I guess, there's that saying, when you get really comfortable in marriage. I was in a very wonderful, still in a very wonderful marriage of 33 years. And, I'm not the typical story. I was very fit when I married and very young, at that age of 18. And over the years, I got very comfortable and I put on quite a few pounds. Through the course of our marriage, I lost 178 pounds.
Wow.
So that was, I decided that for myself that I had waited too long. I was sitting on the sidelines of life and I needed to take care of things. So I lost 178 pounds and decided to be a part of the MPC figure bodybuilding committee and get myself on stage.
Well, now that is quite a transition from being overweight. I mean, you were overweight. You were too heavy for your frame.
Absolutely.
All the way to being in the bodybuilding arena.
That was my goal, was to get that foot on stage. So, in the course of this, I had the privilege of meeting Mr. Lee Haney, who is an 8-time Olympian. And, he came to me and just said, would you consider getting certified? This was not the path that I thought my life would take. But I was fortunate that it has. So I achieved my personal trainer certification and I opened Bodyfit with Aimee.
Wow. And how long ago was that?
So that has been 4 years. And so it is an online nutrition and wellness company. Mm-hmm. So I write custom workouts for people. I deal with people who have autoimmunes, PCOS, menopause, general overall health.
I got to believe that has to be incredibly rewarding work.
It is the most phenomenal thing because everybody always thinks that it comes from the weight loss. Everybody's like, the exterior, when am I going to lose weight? But for me, it is the 3 to 4 week moment when my clients lose weight and start fueling their body.
Right.
All of a sudden their mind becomes just the most wonderful place. And they call me and they're like, I don't know what's going on. I'm more confident than I've ever been in my life. What have you done to me? So for me, the interior is the overall gift. The exterior is a given. If you work the program, you'll get the results. But the interior, the confidence, the success, the just overall well-being and how you're going to act as a human is just phenomenal. So it's exciting to watch people unfold and be their true self.
Well, this is such a timely and germane conversation for me personally. Nothing like the radical transformation that you described in your own life, but you're meeting me 55 pounds ago from when I got here to Woodstock.
Congratulations.
And I have Stacy Roby so largely to thank for that, who's kind of like in the functional medicine world. And she came in studio, and we didn't even do a show. We were just doing kind of a one-on-one visit to learn more about each other's business and how we can help each other, which is, I'm sure you've discovered, this community is fantastic in that regard.
The best.
And she coached me up, and the biggest thing was just getting me to eat cleaner.
Correct.
And then I hit my initial objective, which was to lose 15 pounds, so I wouldn't have to get on blood pressure medicine.
Perfect.
But that gave me, to your point, that gave me the confidence, right? Like now I got a little momentum, I got a little confidence. Hey, I can do this, and so I started doing some other things. I kind of sort of started stacking those habits.
Right.
And I learned a ton, but it was from the inside. It was I got my mind shifted.
Exactly. Mindset.
And you see this all the time, don't you?
Absolutely. One of the best compliments I think I've ever gotten was I had a 24-year-old client, young man, needed to lose well over 100 pounds. And when I met with him, I said, one thing I'm going to ask you to do is not talk ugly of yourself, not to yourself, not to somebody else. And I said, I relied on affirmations to carry me through my entire journey. So I said, I'm going to give you some. Simple. You are worthy of change. And I said, when you are driving down the road and you feel doubt, I just want you to say, if a doubtful thought comes in your mind, I just want you to change it to, I am worthy of change. Simple sentence. And I said, it may sound silly. You may think I'm crazy. So about 6 months goes by, and he called me up and said, I want to take a walk downtown with you. And we were walking, and he said, when you told me to do the affirmations, he said, I thought, she's crazy. And I thought, of course, he probably thinks, she's old enough to be my mother. Why is she telling me all these things, And he said, but what I realized, he said, is every time I have a negative thought now, your affirmations come in my mind. And the first thing I say is I am worthy of change. And at this point, he was sitting 115 pounds down.
Wow. And I don't fully, even a little bit, understand the science behind it all, but it's my understanding that the physical and the mental, the emotional, they complement each other and get you going on an upward spiral. Even doesn't the chemical balance in your body change as you make the physical changes and the mental changes? And
Absolutely. And I also went on to get my functional, you were saying you worked with a functional practitioner. I got my functional practitioner certificate this past year, mainly because I wanted to take it a step further for people who were struggling with more than weight loss or were on prescription medications and couldn't get themselves off. So a lot of times, we need to take a deeper look. We need to really go in and look at the interior and say, what is the problem? And I think a lot of people rely on our doctors, and they're wonderful. And there's a place for everyone in this big, beautiful world. But a lot of times it's going to take a functional practitioner or a nutritionalist to stop and interview you and say, what are your daily habits? What's your lifestyle? What's your stress level? What's your sleep? Tell me all the things about you, because all of these factors could be things that are coming into play that might be the one reason that you have to be on a prescription, that you don't necessarily need to be on it if we just tweak your lifestyle just a touch.
Well, I'm delighted to say the only medication I'm on is Evan Williams, and I've kind of got my disciplines around that, right?
I love it.
But you guys, in your space of the functional medicine, it occurs to me you're working a lot more, I don't know, what would you call it, the front end, the wellness side of things, as opposed to, something's broke, let's go in there and fix it. And I personally find that so much more attractive and powerful and productive, yeah?
Very much so. It has just been an absolute honor. I feel very fortunate that, I do live in this wonderful small town, and I'm able to meet people face to face that I work with. I want everybody to know me, even though it's an online based company. We do meet everyone and train them face to face on how to work their nutrition. And I try to tell them, lean into me, because we all need support. We need cheerleaders. We need a support system. And all of these things will create success for people and accountability, feeling like they have someone that's in their corner.
Yeah, and it is this town, guys, and I know that our listenership goes well beyond Cherokee and Woodstock, but Woodstock, it's like living in a Hallmark movie.
It really is.
And I do know every bartender in town too, but it really is. It is marvelous. I love everything about this community. But let's talk more about the work. And if you would like, we can talk about a use case or a scenario, but I'm particularly interested in the early stages of beginning to work with someone. Like is there a consultation? Yeah, just talk that through a little bit.
Okay, so what we do is we send out a step 1 packet, and this is going to tell us some background, very similar to a medical release at a doctor's office. It's going to tell me if you've ever had any injuries, if you're on any prescriptions, a little bit about your sleep schedule, where you work, what you do for a living. What is your, you and I were talking this morning about you seem to be an adventurous. Much like myself, so I tell people all the time, tell me about what your lifestyle is like. Do you like to travel? Do you work with travel a lot? All of these things are going to help me in creating a plan for you. So I take all this information along with, we have our own app that is the AP app, and it can be found, we send a link out to our clients. And then they go in, they can put their check-ins, their pictures, everything up for us. And then I'm going to take all this information over a week period of time. And then I'm going to set up a schedule that works well for our clients. And then we're going to meet with them one-on-one, and we're going to teach them ways to fuel their body, things to eat, on how to eat clean. A lot of people just don't understand the macro-based way of eating, which, if you're not familiar with that, it's a scientific way of eating. I call it the best lifestyle way of eating. I know there's lots of trending ways to eat. But macros is a concept of taking in the right amount of proteins, carbs, and fats for your lifestyle. So if we give the body what it needs and we fuel it correctly, then ultimately I'm going to keep you in a caloric deficit. Now, that deficit may be that you're looking to lose weight, but we can also have people maintain and also gain muscle as well. So we meet one-on-one, we do this training, and then we send you out and we do weekly accountability. So that would be checking back in with pictures and weight, and we're talking throughout this whole thing. We don't keep people in it more than a month at a time. They're welcome to come and go. My philosophy is, if your mind is right and you're in it, then I am in it with you, but I'm not going to make you stay somewhere and create more issues for you if you're not comfortable, because I feel like everybody will do it when they're ready. And if they are ready, they'll come and they stay. And I have clients who've been with me 4 years who've long met their goals, but they travel and they like to know when they come home that I'm going to pull them back in, and get them back on pace, so they have that discipline again that creates them to be their best being. So
that accountability, and also, like, for me, like a support system and having a roadmap is so crucial. And for me, I found it helpful to get realistic about what I would and would not do. Like, I know we've joked about it, but I'm 60 years old. I'm going to enjoy a cigar and a cocktail from time to time. So
lifestyle living.
So I wasn't going to just cut all that out and try to be Mr. Universe. Right. But I got very real with myself. And the other thing that really helped me a lot was, my wife, Holly, we're kind of empty nesters, so she can eat what she wants and I can eat what I want. But for the most part, she just kind of came along for the ride with me, and we both got healthier together.
Absolutely. And what I find too is that a lot of times it's just people are afraid to go to a gym because they don't have the direction, or, let's say we're all in different, I'm in my 50s, and in my 50s, I don't plan to squat something on my back because that's probably not going to be my best decision at this point. Now, 20 years ago, it might have been my best decision. But so we do write custom workouts. And these are in my app, and they all have a video beside them. So anybody can put their headset on with their favorite music. They go to the gym. I'm going to tell them how many sets, how many reps, and we're going to custom write the workouts according to what fits them. So if you said to me, Aimee, I can only do 3 workouts a week, then I'm going to make sure you have the best 3 workouts you could possibly give your body.
Yeah. Well, it's interesting. Okay, let's talk about me for a minute. I mean, it is my show.
Let's do.
But so now I'm thrilled with those results of losing the weight. I have more energy. I'm in even that much better of a mental state. My clothes fit better. I feel like I look a little better in my clothes, all that kind of stuff. So now I'm like, yeah, but I wish my arms were a little bigger. Now I want to bulk up a little bit in the right place.
Somebody you can hire.
See that? Exactly. So, I mean, you can kind of meet people where they are.
Absolutely.
Take them from there. And again, help them. I'm not going to try to be Mr. Universe and I don't want to, but I'd like to, that. So like if I had that set of objectives, I could sit down with you or get on your program.
You could.
And then I would have that.
And I always
process.
tell people, tell me what you want to look like.
Yeah.
Everybody uses Pinterest for everything. I'm like, if there is a body you want to look like, show me. Let's create it, because just what you're saying, everybody does have a different look that they're after. I was a figure competitor. I didn't want to look like so muscular that, I didn't feel feminine, but at the same time, I did want to carry a good amount of muscle so that as I age, I'm reversing age, and I'm keeping my structure, my posture is able to hold itself strong. And, obviously the more we eat and the better we fuel ourselves, we can lifestyle live better, because the goal is not to be able to starve ourselves for the rest of our lives to keep weight off. The goal is to teach the body to metabolize the foods. And when we do this, then we can lifestyle live, enjoy those vacations, and not have fear of failure.
Well, that's another great point. And I really will quit talking about me after this, but I did not willpower my way to one of those pounds that came off. I adjusted my disciplines, I guess you would call them, but I didn't go without. I never went hungry, but I just made some.
That's the goal.
Yeah, I did not. It wasn't a willpower thing at all, and it's not now. And now it's not. I don't even have to remember. It's just almost habit and routine now. That's been well over a year now. I guess year and a half. And so it's just the way that my day is organized now, and the way our grocery list is organized now. And it doesn't mean I don't hit the pie bar now and again, but I don't. But I might not eat a whole slice of key lime. And I might get a slice on the weekend and, nibble at it throughout just little things like that. Maybe
but you've learned those habits.
Yes.
And once you learn those habits,
second nature now.
That's what I said. I said, I started my journey at 40, and, now I'm the ripe age of 52. Now it did take me around 8 years to get my weight off. I would say at the time I was very blessed with someone who understood exercise. But finding a nutritionalist, which was very important to me, was that I was able to find a way to, in my world, create bodies quicker for people so that they could see those goals faster. So I do really hone in on nutrition and what people eat, but I am a huge advocate of you should never have to tell somebody you're on a diet. I don't like the word diet because it has die in it, and it makes everyone feel like they want to die. So I want people to feel alive. And by living, you're going to go out, you're going to socially engage with people. You're not going to give up your life. You shouldn't have to say, I can't go to dinner, or I can't meet you, or I can't have get-togethers. People always said to me, well, just like the pool party, how do you have a pool party and not participate? And I said, well, I do participate. I do participate because I'm living, and that's, I'm in a marriage, a relationship. And in order to be fair to my soulmate, I need to be able to date him, and these things I feel like are so important. And I feel like that's the barrier that too many people put too much pressure on themselves, that they have to feel like they have to be perfect and eat less. And, the favorite saying when people come to me is they'll say, don't worry, I've been eating salads all week, before I met you. And I said, well, I'm so sorry, because I'm going to feed you so much now that you're going to feel like, there's no way. And they always come back a week into it and they say, well, the best thing I can tell you is I was never hungry. And how did I lose weight? Well, you fueled your body so it didn't have to hold food. So it's a beautiful scenario. Just like you said, not everybody's looking to put their foot on a stage. For me, I was looking to create a goal so big that I wouldn't fail. But I feel like everybody has different goals, but I tell people dig deep, look personally for what your goal is. So in saying this, not the goal of, I want to be the best family person I can be. Look at what you want. And when people say to me now, what was your goal? I said, my goal was to put on the little black dress and go to dinner. That's what I wanted to do. So that's the goal.
So you got a lot of irons in the fire, not unrelated, I'm sure. I'm looking forward to learning more about this, but you have this soft wave regeneration.
Yes.
Speak to that a little bit.
So this was just, there again, this wonderful community. My father, I moved him to downtown Woodstock last year, and he purchased the founding creator of the Ortho Gold 350 Softwave machine. And just on a fluke, I was having some pains, and he was kind enough to say, why don't you come to my corporate office and let me just work on your back and see if I can make you feel better. So what Softwave Regeneration is, it's a cellular tissue regeneration machine. And what this does is it goes in and it repairs the cells that are damaged. So it's going to increase blood flow to your body. It's going to help inflammation if you have plantar fasciitis, if you have problems with diabetes, if you have chronic pain, frequent urination. It is a marvel machine. It's FDA approved. It's non-invasive. And it was the beautiful sister company of Bodyfit because it was going to allow my clients who possibly worked out too much, had shoulder injuries, back issues. A lot of times people will be in sports, athletics, do things over the years, and they continually are taking ibuprofen or trying to, baby a pain. So I went to him, and 4 visits later, I was like, I don't know what this miraculous machine is, but I need more of it in my life. So I found myself asking him to please take care of my Bodyfit clients. And then, I said, you know what? It's time. We need to bring this to Woodstock. So I decided to purchase the machine and get certified in treating people who deal with chronic pain. So it is a very quick treatment. Each treatment is about 10 to 15 minutes.
Oh, that is fast.
We are blessed to say that we are located right in downtown Woodstock off of Rusk Street. If anybody lives here, I think everybody knows where we are. We have the little Moki in the driveway. So everybody always says,
we know the Moki.
Everybody knows the Moki in town. So, but our goal was to create an environment that people didn't feel like they were going into a doctor's office or a clinic.
Yeah.
We wanted more of a luxury environment where people felt comfortable. They could come in. We invite them, welcome them with hospitality, And, so we do have the exam room set up in the office, in the home. And, so the average treatment time is 6 weeks, and that's 1 treatment a week. Mm-hmm. So it's going to work on repairing the cells for 8 to 12 weeks after each treatment.
Wow. So have you had the benefit along the way of one or more mentors as you made that transition? You lost the weight, you went into business, you're so credentialed, you've rattled off like 3 or 4 different certifications now. Have you had the benefit of some folks that really helped you navigate even just the entrepreneurial terrain, let alone the knowledge base that you had to pick up to get to be an expert in this domain?
Do you know, I would say I have had multiple people. I opened my first entrepreneurial experience when I was 16 years old. And that was always my avenue, was that I learned very quickly that my soul was fed off of people. And so I say I live in a very people-y world, and that was one of my main reasons for wanting to live in downtown Woodstock, so that I could be outside walking and feeding my soul with the people that lived around here. And that's exactly what's happened for me. So, but along my journey, I would say that my mentors have been in all calibers of my life. It seems like that each conversation I have, even, I'm going to toot your horn, because even this conversation this morning is, I find this very enriching to sit here with you and learn about what you've done and how you've come to where you are. So I try to take key points along the way that people tell me they've done and say, how can this improve my life? How can this help me be more passionate in what I'm doing? And I feel like that as an entrepreneur, obviously as entrepreneurs, we are trying to make some income, and I don't argue that, but I do feel like that being an entrepreneur goes so much deeper than income. It goes into living out a passion. Most entrepreneurs have a passion to better something in life. And mine happened to start with myself, and that may sound a little selfish. But in order to help others, I had to find my best self first. And I always tell people, don't put yourself on the back burner, because to be your best, you have to be your best to yourself first. And when you're best to yourself first, then everything else will flow and come together. So, I would definitely say that Lee Haney was a wonderful mentor. He lives a very blessed life. He was very committed to his goal, still is very committed to his goal, very passionate. I had a wonderful support system and still have a wonderful support system. I say, you go as far as your mate, helps you go. And I'm 33 years into a very solid, wonderful, giving man that understands that my entrepreneurial mind is always wanting to do more. So now it's kind of, my daughter does work with me. She's a lifestyle coordinator, for Bodyfit with Aimee, and she's also a certified tech now for Softwave Regeneration. So very blessed to have a family that believes in me, and I want to help them grow as individuals as well. So just a beautiful support system all around.
So how does the whole sales and marketing thing work for a company, a set of companies like yours? Do you find yourself with this structured sales and marketing process and you're out shaking the trees, or does it just kind of come word of mouth and referral, or is it a little bit of both of those?
I would say that over the years, the biggest thing I've done is try to build relationships. And I think you can market all you want. When I was doing the shows, I did some transformation shows, and I met a lot of people, and they would say, wait, if you did this, I want to do it. So I got a lot of business off of social media when Bodyfit first started.
Right.
And then over the years now, it seems like that people will just pick up the phone and say, I heard you're the one I need in my life, which there's no better compliment than referrals, always. And then as far as Softwave Regeneration, how many times have you had a conversation with someone where they say, oh my gosh, I just hurt my back.
Yeah.
Or my hip hurts, or I was walking outside, or I was lifting weights and I did this, or, I cannot tell you. So to me, I consider each one of those conversations the gift that just says, you know what? I'm not going to push you into this, because I truly feel like, again, that people come when the time is right for them. But I always want to say to people, you know what? I'm right down the road. Give me a try. Let me see if I can help make your life better. So I would say that off Softwave Regeneration, we have officially been open now since June 15th.
Oh, so not that long on the Softwave side.
Not that long. So brand new. We got our machine in May and got our certifications and made sure we knew what we were doing. And then we started inviting people in. So we have around 35 clients now.
Wow, since June?
Since June.
Oh, my.
So, and that has been all word of mouth. So that has been a wonderful thing. And my husband says I have a lot to say to a lot of people.
Now, does he go out and do his own thing, or is he involved in the business?
He is actually an owner with me of Softwave Regeneration.
Okay.
So I'm pulling daily, saying, hey, I'm going to make you an entrepreneur if it's the last thing I do.
That's funny.
So, but I would say he is a behind the scenes guy. He does a lot of the paperwork and the things that are just not my strong
You got to
point.
have that, or at least I do, right? You got to have the guy behind the guy. So entrepreneur / Moki driver is her husband.
Exactly. Everybody's like, oh, wait, I know exactly where your house is. It's the one where the Moki's at. And I'm like, okay, Yes.
If you don't know what a Moki is, look it up. It is way cool. It is
Moki America. They're going to owe me for this one.
Yeah, we'll send them an invoice, right? So this is a golf cart community. We don't have a golf cart right in this community. Of course, we have several all around, and several of us have golf carts, but Moki is like a whole different ballgame. It's not a golf cart. It's a whole so they stand out in the Moki.
It is fun. So there again, just a fun community to be in.
It is. So I'm going to switch gears on you here for a minute before we wrap. And I don't know when or where you would find the time, but I'm going to ask anyway. Hobbies, interests, passions outside the scope of the work we've been talking about. Curious if you have any. Most of my listeners know that I like to hunt, fish, and travel. And
Right.
Is there something you have a tendency to nerd out about?
I absolutely love to travel.
Okay.
Any chance I get, I'm all about the travel.
Right.
But obviously my passion has become bodybuilding. So, I do enjoy that. And, I have 2 wonderful grandkids. And, so I'm learning how to have the joys of grandchildren versus children, which is always
it's a whole different ball game, right? You can spoil them and then hand them back. I understand. I don't have them yet. But.
So it is just, the empty nesting is just not a bad thing, is it?
No, we're loving it. Absolutely loving it.
I love it.
Oh, neat. But I do feel like, for me anyway, that I call it white space. That white space is important. And honestly, like if I'm sitting in a tree stand, which I will do this afternoon because hunting season's coming up in a couple of weeks, it gives me a chance to kind of decompress, relax, and
Definitely.
Candidly, because I am an entrepreneur, I might come up with a great idea, or at least one worth trying while I'm sitting in that stand.
Do you know, everybody always says when I vacation, I always come back with a new idea.
Yeah.
And they'll say, I thought you were going there to relax. And I said, that was relaxing because there's nothing better than having that time to let the mind explore. Yeah. And that's usually when I come back even more fulfilled, more ready to start something else and share something. And, like I said, it's a huge compliment to be in this town. And, people come in and say, well, if anybody could manage more than one thing, it would be you. So I find that is a huge compliment. And sometimes they might think I'm a little crazy, but there again, just a great group of people that we get to take care of and locally. And, Bodyfit also, since we service all over the world because it's an online company, it's just incredible to meet people all over the world and learn, more about different areas that I haven't been familiar with.
So, and also in my case, my team rolls their eyes when I go play because they know if I go play, I'm going to come back with more work for them to do because I got this new idea we want to launch. And I'm chasing down some shiny ball or whatever. So I know that too, don't you?
I know. I always say there's the risk takers, and I am probably 1,000% the risk taker. And I just did a talk. I actually, and gosh, I can't leave this out because it's been such a wonderful move for me. Brian Aaron with Woodstock Furniture Outlet took me as a guest to the Rotary Club in Woodstock. So I just got inducted into the Woodstock Rotary.
Yes.
Yeah, last week actually. And just an incredible group of entrepreneurs and professionals that are local in our town. And we meet every Tuesday morning, and I cannot even begin to tell you what that 1 hour will do for your spirit because you see all the good things that we're a part of and how we're helping our community. But it's in this world where technology has become such a thing now. It is just so nice to sit face to face with somebody and have breakfast and laugh and talk and be the authentic self, that you're looking to be. So I think they're going to add a wonderful addition to my life. And, my whole family is like, they're like, you love nothing more than to say you're a Rotarian now. And I'm like, I know, because I am.
And the mission and purpose of that organization to me is just so noble, just, and true. I mean, they're all about service, aren't they?
Absolutely. So it is, like I said, I'm just now getting my feet wet and learning about it.
Yeah.
But it is really, really cool to know that I live in a community that within arm's distance is the people that we're helping.
Yeah.
So that's encouraging. So, like I said, I hope that the longer we live here, we're a new build here. We've lived in the Cherokee County community for over 20 years.
Oh, wow.
But as far as being in downtown Woodstock, we are residentially considered new as of a little over a year ago.
Yeah. All right, let's leave our listeners with a couple of pro tips if we could. Maybe a pro tip or two on just being an entrepreneur and building and scaling a company, but also maybe a tip or two around health and wellness and being fit mentally, physically, emotionally. And look, gang, the number one tip is pick up the phone or drop an email or something, reach out and have a conversation with Aimee or somebody on her team. That's the number one tip. But maybe we could leave them with something to begin thinking about, doing, stop doing, reading.
Okay, so my pro tip as far as a weight loss journey or a weight gain journey would be to be consistent. Just be consistent. Don't consider each day as a failure or just each single day as a win. Just look at it as overall consistent behavior is going to create habits, and those habits are going to create change. So consistently, if you say to yourself, I'm going to maybe eat out twice a week versus every single day and unlimited portions, just be consistent in what you create for yourself. Be loyal to your boundaries. So that would be my tip as far as that. As far as if you are in the entrepreneurial lane, I say have fun with it. Explore. Don't have a limiting mindset. And if you don't know something, find somebody who does, because there's a lot of people out there who want to help new entrepreneurs find their way. I know for one of my favorite things to do is mentor young people. And unfortunately, I had the privilege of mentoring my now son-in-law into a side hustle. And so reach out to people and do everything you do with a passion, and I promise you it'll be successful. And then as far as if you are dealing with chronic pain, don't just deal with it. Give us a call. We would love the opportunity to show you the equipment, have you drop by, talk with you. I would love to meet you. So don't feel like that a phone call is going to be too much, or just come see us, because we're in this town and we don't mind when people knock on the door, and just come see us.
I am so glad that I asked. It's marvelous counsel all the way around. And you saw me writing while you were talking. I wrote down, be loyal to your boundaries. Just set your own, be loyal to them, get some help on it. And I think that is such wise counsel. And it just rings so true for me. If you're going to go down this entrepreneurial path, just have fun with it.
Exactly. Live. Lifestyle living is what I like to call it.
Yeah. Well, Aimee, it has been an absolute delight having you in the studio this morning. Thank you for your insight, your perspective. Keep up the good work. The work you're doing is so important and has such a marvelous impact on so many. And don't be a stranger. You're not far from the studio. Mm-hmm. Come on in and get us caught up from time to time if you would.
I would love to. And thank you so much for having us. So I will leave on a note of, if someone would like to learn more about Softwave, you can reach us at softwaveregeneration.com, or you can call us at 404-990-0655 and just ask for Aimee or Riley, and we'll take care of you. If you're interested in Bodyfit, you can go to bodyfitwithaimee.com, or you can find me on Instagram at AIM2LiveFit, and I'd love to see you there. So if you happen to reach out, let me know that you heard it here first, and we'll make sure to take extra good care of you.
I love it. And you've clearly made it easy to connect. That's just who you are.
I definitely want to connect. I love it. So thank you so much. It's just been a privilege to be here.
Absolutely my pleasure. All right. Until next time, this is Stone Payton for our guest today with Bodyfit with Aimee and Softwave Regeneration, Miss Aimee Parscale, and everyone here at the Business RadioX family, saying we'll see you again on Cherokee Business Radio.